Okay, so Sophie's a year and a half old, and that's all I know.
Okay, so she's a little bit over a year. She'll be 2 years in January. So yeah, a little over a year and a half.
How long have you had
And
her?
I've had her since she was 3 months.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Hey, Sophie, you want to say hi?
Aw.
um, so I love her like crazy. The problem is, I think one of the things is I got her during COVID. I had a broken knee, and maybe I was a little bit spoiling her too much. Um, I'm not really sure, but our major problems are she will not jump on people, and everybody in my family is kind of older.
Okay.
Um, so my mom lives upstairs, I live downstairs, and um, yeah, that's like one of the major things. I was telling Tony that some of the stuff that she did in the beginning, she doesn't do anymore. Like she definitely destroyed our couch, destroyed some rugs,
Mhm.
throw rugs, expensive ones, but I don't care. um, just with like stuff that's beyond her control, I feel
Right.
like
Mhm.
she had diarrhea and things of that nature. She likes to, like, with the couch, it's right near the window, so she likes to get on the couch and look outside and like see. Right now, like, she is like, okay, you're talking to somebody and I'm going to be a part of it, like. So I don't think like the things are like so bad. Like for me, as a, you know, for me, it's not like so bad, but like for my mom, it is sometimes overwhelming,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like she doesn't really listen. She's listening more as she
Mhm.
gets older.
Okay.
Um, so if I could just get her to not, um, for right now, because I know my mom loves her. So I'm just trying to do what I can so that we can like kind of keep her, even though she's like, if she finds a great home, she's okay with that. I want her to be like, I can't live without her.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that if she listened more, if she didn't, like, she bites our feet when we leave, but that's part of her being like a puppy, a dog that doesn't want you to leave. You know what I mean? So I would say my top three. I know that you can't um, get her to listen. That's something that I will have to take on for myself to like be more aggressive with that. But if you can give me any tips on keeping her from jumping on people, like when they come in, like she is spastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Like my best friend comes over, she will not leave her alone. Like,
Right.
period.
Mhm.
Anybody comes over, she like wants to like jump on them, love on them, like everything, which is, my best friend understands because she has dogs and she knows it's not like a bad thing, but it is a bad thing when they don't listen.
Yeah. Okay, so jumping, the destruction has kind of resolved itself with age.
I think that it's Wayne, but I think that the destruction stuff was not um my mom feels one way about it and I feel like another way. I feel like the destruction was because like she likes to look out the window. So the edge of the couch got messed up from her nails. You know what I mean? Like it's not like she goes and I'm gonna fight the pillows or I'm
Okay,
gonna.
so all right, so your couch was scratched up a little bit.
No, it's destroyed.
Did she eat it or was it her nails?
No, it's just her nails.
Okay, all right. So you're talking to a guy like I've been through literally entire couches.
Yeah.
Like,
So she
I've worked with dogs that have eaten through walls. So
she doesn't eat the couch.
okay, so all right. Let's start with some basics first. Okay.
Okay.
Well, before we go on, so have you ever witnessed her mark or scratch or quote unquote destroy the couch when you were home?
No, nothing intentional. Nothing like if she had like I bought like I have four, no, three carpet cleaners. I gave one away because I hate emptying them. So I have like 3 carpet cleaners right now. I'm gonna have like a professional come in. The only time she uses the bathroom in the house right now is if she's sick. Like
Right.
there's
Okay.
no like nothing else. Um, I don't see her marking anything in the house. That's only when we go
No,
out
I'm
walk.
talking about scratching on the couch.
No, 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 no.
Only happens when you leave.
She just gets up on the couch.
Okay.
And
It's possible she's scratching or digging. That's what I'm trying to get at.
oh, yeah, she
Because
does try.
that's generally that's a symptom of separation anxiety. That's why I was
Okay,
asking.
yeah. I mean, okay, to
Yeah.
your point, she does like do
Okay.
that
Right.
to make
Okay.
it,
Well,
but I love,
if she's getting ready to lay down, dogs generally will nest kind of.
yeah,
So anyway, all right. So did you crate train her?
um, halfway.
So you don't
So
utilize the crate?
not anymore. She used to get in the crate, but now she doesn't. And to my fault, she always slept in the bed with me. Like when she was a puppy, like she was like crying and like uncomfortable and just like in the space or whatever.
Hmm.
So I did allow her to sleep in the bed.
Okay, and I mean that's not a huge problem right now, but one thing we need to do, which is, you might feel a certain way about this.
Mhm. No,
um,
I just want to like do whatever is
yeah,
best for
we need to kind of do a reset.
her. Okay.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about right now. I'm going to offer some suggestions to do a little bit of a reset. Okay,
Okay.
um,
In a
you
bed.
you don't have to worry about taking notes because you're getting a copy of this video.
Okay.
You're
Awesome.
welcome to if you want, but
No.
we're going to talk about a few things here. I'm also going to send you supplemental video from my YouTube channel to help kind of, again, to complement whatever we talk about here. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing a little bit of a reset. What that means is currently we have to err on the side of she has too much freedom too soon at this point in her life.
Okay.
Okay. 2 years old, she's still very puppyish. You got another year or so before she starts to mature, and start coming into her adult temperament and energy level, not necessarily physical energy, but sometimes with age and maturation and structure, which we're going to start implementing in her life, that usually will help settle down some anxiety or overstimulation that she experiences, right?
Mhm.
So you are going to need to reintroduce the crate.
Okay.
Okay. You can't feel bad. Okay. Um, I know.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
So, and I have like a full length crate training video, which I'll send you, but we'll go over a couple of highlights here. She's already been exposed to the crate.
Mhm.
So, do you still have the crate set up?
No, I haven't had it set up since I came back from Virginia. But she used to actually go into the crate. I had it all comfy and cozy. She would
Good.
go in and go to sleep.
Okay. All right.
But then like go ahead.
How many times a day do you feed her? Twice?
Twice. I give her a cup in the morning and I give her 2.5 cups in the evening.
Okay. So set the crate back up.
Okay.
Okay. And I want you to start feeding her one of her meals in the crate,
Oh,
but
okay.
you're not going to close the door.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what I need you to do for the next few days. That's all you're going to do with the crate is just
Okay.
maybe 4 or 5 days. You're just going to feed her in there, whichever meal you want. You can alternate. One day do morning, next day do night. And the objective is to put her food bowl. You might have to like put it right into the front of the crate where her head will be in, her ass will be out, and she'll be eating.
Okay.
But ultimately, you want to slide that food to the back of the crate so she has to go all the way in to eat. Again, you're not closing the door yet.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then the crate training video that I'm going to send you after this, that'll fill in the gaps on how we're going to proceed going forward.
Okay.
So you're going to be doing, just the feeding for a couple of days. Then your next step is you're going to put her in the crate and close the door, but you're not when you leave. Okay. So where in the house would you be setting up the crate?
Well, I had it in my room, like between like my closet and coming into my room. Stop licking my toes.
Okay. So do you read a book or watch TV in your bedroom at all?
I do.
Okay. The first time that you put her in the crate and close it,
Mhm.
do an activity where you're not paying attention to her and you're preoccupied either with a book or the TV. Okay.
Okay.
And the whole purpose is so the crate is not associated with you leaving. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So that's kind of the crux of positive association with the crate is to make sure that it's just part of their life, not necessarily when you leave.
Okay. Sophie. Ooh.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. And so that's first things first. Okay. Jumping on people. I'm also going to send you a video on that, but we're going to talk about it here right now. Okay.
Okay.
Jumping is it's a physically invasive behavior as far as I'm concerned, no matter how friendly it is.
Right.
Right. Because even the friendliest of dogs, they can tear skin open, they can knock someone over. It's really invasive. So there's a couple of components to this. I'm not a fan, honestly. I'm a trainer and I'm not a fan of having to leash dogs when they're in the house. But when a behavior is on the cusp of being out of control and unmanageable, sometimes we have to do things that we're not really a fan of, right? So you may have to leash her when visitors come over so you can control her. Okay. The other side of the equation is we have to educate our visitors. They absolutely cannot greet her or make eye contact with her. Nothing. They have to completely ignore her.
Okay.
When they come over. And most of them, I mean, I shouldn't say most of them, you may have a friend that comes over and you're saying sorry and your friend is like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's not okay.
They don't really think it's okay. So I agree.
Beautiful. Okay, good. Usually it's the other way where they're like, oh, no, it's fine. So good.
They say that. I understand. Like when I go to, I have friends with dogs that are spastic and, I love them, but yeah, I don't want you peeing on my leg. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So if you know you're going to have a visitor, you're going to obviously have a discussion before they get to your house.
Okay.
If you get a drop by, then you just got to kind of, wing it and do the best you can as far as managing her.
Okay.
So you could leash her when visitors come over. The visitors they're not to look at her. They're not to talk to her. They're not to touch her. Nothing.
Okay.
You have to wait until she settles down a little bit before you allow her to go interact with a visitor. Okay.
And why does she lick me like crazy? Like she's licking my toes, she's licking my legs, and
there's
I
a
think
lot of
but
yeah, sometimes it's affection. Sometimes there's a little anxiety behind it. Sometimes it's the taste of our skin. Some people use lotions and stuff on their body. Like, if I put like lotion on my legs, I gotta like run past my dogs because then they're just gonna go to town on it. I use like
at the end of the day, that's all.
Yeah, after I work out, forget about it. I can't stretch after I work out in front of my dogs because they're licking the sweat and the salt. It's insane.
Yes. Okay, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. So if it doesn't bother you, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but there could be a number of reasons. So with the jumping on visitors, obviously, again, it's twofold. Handling her and managing her behavior, having the visitors do their part as well of ignoring her and waiting for her to settle down before they interact with her. Okay. So how that works over the course of time and repetition is, let's say when a visitor comes over, she's from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most stimulated, she's at a 10, right? If we can get her to like an 8 or a 7, and then she's allowed to interact with the visitors calmly, right? The repetition of that level 8 or 7 will become her new 10. Okay. So she's still going to be excited, but a little less, right? And then if we continue with that repetition, we start chiseling down, and then obedience comes into play where, putting her in a sit stay and things along those lines, would certainly help. But first things first, we have to stop the bleeding, right?
Right.
We cannot modify a behavior that is still being rewarded. So if she's jumping and you're yelling and your visitors are petting her, do you think
it's just crazy? It's not like Maslow or what was the other guy, the thing about the dogs with the treats, we learned in high school.
Pavlov's dog, right?
Pablo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you were thinking of Abraham Maslow, I think.
Yeah, that's
But
our needs. But the dog thing is like what I was trying to
yeah,
say.
Pavlov. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So and that's, the funny thing about positive reinforcement is that it doesn't only work to reward good behavior, it rewards any behavior.
Right. Right.
So if a dog
Right.
is jumping and crazy and they're getting pet or getting paid attention to, we're validating that behavior.
Right.
They're not only are they going to do that again, they're going to be better at it every time. So
Right.
if you look back in her life, the jumping was probably really goofy and funny in the beginning, but then she literally got better at it.
She's like, I'm a pro.
Yeah, I mean, it only takes a dog to steal a steak off the counter one time to become a counter surfer.
Right.
They
Right.
learn quickly. They are not
Yes.
stupid.
So let me ask you another question.
Sure.
One other thing. Okay, so I have to do the crate thing. Um, Feed her in the crate um once a day,
One of her
and
meals, right?
visitors have to like
Ignore.
ignore her.
Hmm.
Another thing we have a problem with is when we're leaving, like she'll lay on the stairs. Like she'll just lay across the stairs or she'll nip at your feet. And I know that is just because we're leaving, but she's never in the house more than 4 or 5 hours by herself without one of us being home,
Right.
ever.
Yeah. So part of us reintroducing the crate is going to manage her separation anxiety when you're exiting, because that's what's going on.
Okay.
Now she's a mutt. She's a pit mixed with something else. She might have some kind of herding dog in her. So
I think she does.
if she has some kind of herding breed in her, they're prone to nipping anyway.
Okay.
So dogs that may have that tendency to begin with add anxiety to the situation, i.e., you leaving.
Hmm.
She's going to resort to what she's programmed to do, right?
Okay.
So reintroducing the crate, because you're going to need to start crating her when you leave the house as well.
Okay.
But we
Okay.
want to make sure that we're reintroducing the crate without the association of she's crated when you leave. We're only crating her when you're home initially,
Got you.
right?
Okay.
So that's going to help with the transition of her having a lot of freedom to being on lockdown when you're gone. Because I'll be honest, I mean, and crate training, there's a lot of controversy in the dog training community about it, but the majority of dog trainers, regardless of what type of training they do, we
Hmm.
all are proponents of crate training. Okay.
Right.
You know, I mean, if we look at most dogs, when people are gone, they're laying down until you get home.
Hmm.
So what's the difference if they're laying down in the corner of your couch or in the same exact square feet in a crate?
Right.
Right.
So let me ask you this. Speaking of crates, so I have a crate it's pretty big, but do you think it would be better if I got her a bigger crate where she would have more freedom? Like she can turn around in the crate, but it's not, she ended up being like, this would be my third crate, but I'm okay with getting her another crate.
Okay.
Maybe, do you think like having a bigger crate would
Yeah.
be more comfortable for her?
So if we were discussing crate training with regards to housebreaking and dogs that still soil in the
Mhm.
house, then we want a smaller crate. If she's old enough now, she can hold in her bladder and bowels for 4 or 5 hours, no problem.
Right.
So
Right.
bigger is always better.
Okay.
The
So
more
I'm just gonna
room,
order a big one.
yeah, the more room and comfort that we can fit into our home is always best for the dog's comfort,
Okay. All right.
right?
So she has like one that is pretty big, but I think that like I would prefer to have one where if she's gonna be in that crate for 4 hours, I want her to be able to turn around with no problem.
Right. So how much does she weigh?
She's about 55 pounds right now.
Okay. Do you know how long the crate is that you currently have?
It's big enough for her to stand up and do whatever, but it's not big enough for her to lay. She likes to lay out flat, straight.
Okay. So yeah, then I mean, a 42-inch would be a nice roomy crate for her. If you wanted her to sprawl out with her little
Yeah,
tadpole legs, which I'm guessing
yeah.
she does, right? A 48-inch would be the biggest that you would get then.
So maybe, I mean, 48-inch would be for like maybe a Rottweiler or something like that.
48-inch crate is for a Rottweiler or a Mastiff, yes.
Okay, so she don't need that much space. So what's the one below that?
The 42-inch.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is a 42-inch that I have. I don't have it
If she
set up
has
right
enough
now.
room to stand up, turn around, and lay down, it's probably a 36-inch.
Yeah, so I think I need to go up to 42. Like, I
You
just
don't,
want her to be comfortable if she's
right?
going to be in it.
You don't need to. It would make you feel better if you did.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
it makes me feel
and
better.
there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, for her size, a 42-inch crate, you could fit 4 of her in there.
Oh yeah. So another question I have, which is just a general question, it's not like a behavioral thing. Well, maybe it is tied to the behavior, but she is uber, like literally she could run the Iditarod in Alaska. She has that much energy.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm not expelling enough of the energy for her. Like she needs things that she is super smart. And I know people say that about their kids and their dogs, but she really is super smart. Like she does all kinds of like silly things that are like, for instance, well, I'm not going to give you like a whole bunch of things, but I do
Okay.
know that I think that she needs not only physical exercise, but things that will, like, yeah, for her mind. So I
Yep.
ordered some stuff on Amazon. She figured it out and tore the shit up.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
done with this.
So, yeah, another video I'm going to send you is my 7-day dog care challenge, which is
Okay.
basically there's 7 things you can implement in her life to help, again, enrich her life, but stimulate her physically, mentally, etc. And
Okay.
I'm going to give you some homework to do that as well. But
Okay.
do you have a yard or do you walk her? Okay. Do you walk her?
I walk her and we play. So let me tell you, this week we haven't walked. We missed 2 days of walking. And I know when she doesn't walk, she gets depressed. Okay, that's a human emotion, but I feel like she feels sad if she doesn't
Okay.
get to walk and smell other dogs' poo poo.
Yep.
But I definitely, if I can't walk her, if I work too late, like I'll run the backyard with her.
Okay.
And she will run through, like she makes the backyard like a place, like she goes through the trees, she jumps up on here, she does this, that, and here, and she segues and does this, that, and the other. Like she likes to skid and then jump and then run. Like she loves all of that.
Yeah. So one of the ways I like to help stimulate dogs, obviously walking does that in and of itself, just because they get to smell and inspect the world. That stimulates the mind. But I like to do what I call working walks. Okay.
Oh,
Where, because this is going to sound counterintuitive, a lot of people, when they walk their dogs, they're going out the front door and they're just walking as fast as they can to burn that energy, right? I've found that you stimulate the mind and you actually burn more energy by slowing down the walk.
I
Oh,
do that. Like
good.
I let her smell and do whatever she wants to do. It's not like a race. It's just like, I walk her for like a mile and
Right.
a half. Like I said, we didn't do that this week.
Yeah.
And I let her smell, sniff, poop,
Okay.
do whatever she wants to do. And oftentimes she will not even poop out there. She'll wait till she comes back home
Right.
and poop in the backyard.
Okay.
She doesn't want to be out.
So we need to change the culture of your walk. Okay.
Okay.
So, and this is where you're literally going to be, let's say you walk her for 20 minutes usually, and you go a mile, mile and a half or whatever, right?
Okay.
We're going to cut that distance in half, and you're probably still going to be out there for 15, 20 minutes. Okay. What I want you to do is, first, you want to walk out the front door, make sure you make her sit before you go out the front door, so she earns the privilege of going outside.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Okay. She needs to work for that front door to open. Okay. And take some treats with you on the walk if you have to too. Okay. Because we have to make sure that we can get her attention. And number one, I want you to walk, let's just say every 30 or 40 steps initially, right? When you first get out the door, every 30 or 40 steps, stop, make her sit, get her focused on you.
Okay.
And then you got to do it. because you're changing.
I know. I will like,
Does she know how to sit?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. If she
We-
knows how to sit, there's no reason why she shouldn't sit when you tell her to.
Okay.
Now, being outside is different because there's a lot of distractions. That's why we're bringing treats with us on the walks. If we have to bribe her into a sit, that's fine. Okay. We have
Okay.
to get into the habit of slowing down the walk. We stop periodically, make her sit. She's got to focus up at us. Good girl. Give her the treat, carry on
Okay.
the walk. Now, she does not stop us ever on walks. Okay. We stop her. Now, if you think she has to pee or poop and you want to let her pee or poop, that's fine. Once she does her business, that's it. It's our walk. She
Okay.
can't stop us every telephone pole or every fire hydrant, then sniff the bushes and stuff. Because
Oh,
she's dictating the pace of the walk. She's dictating the rules of the walk. We have to flip that script.
okay.
Okay. If she wants
Ooh,
to stop, walk her ass through it. Who the hell is she to tell me to stop? Right now, obviously, this is a little bit of an exaggeration as far as a protocol to implement. But remember, we're talking about, all due respect, a dog that seemingly has very few rules and way too much freedom.
right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Like, and another thing is like when we come home, if she doesn't want to come in the house, like we have to bribe her to come in the house. And what I started doing is I got her a different type of the body like collar thing. So I pick her ass up and I bring her in the house. And I'm like, but I don't want to be doing that. I want her to come in the house like normally.
So
You
what, does
know,
she have a harness?
I have a harness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can she slip out of it, or is it a secure harness?
Oh my gosh, funniest thing. My cousin is running the Berlin and London marathon in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, or whatever. She had to chase her down because she got out the harness. She saw a rabbit. She had to literally chase her down. She
Right.
called me on the phone like, Sophie got away. She got her loose. So yeah, she can't get out the harness.
Okay. I had to ask that because generally when dogs put the brakes on, they have two options with me. They could follow me or they could follow me. with a harness that they could slip out of, you can't do that because then they'll slip out of it and they're gone.
Well, we didn't know that she could slip out. What she did was she's backed up and scooted
Yes.
and then put her, she was gone.
Yeah. All right. So does she have a regular collar?
Yes, that's what I'm using right now. But I was going to I don't like when we're walking and she gets excited and it like seems like it's choking her because she's not listening. So I was going to get her not the harness I have. I have one for allegedly like a German Shepherd canine harness, whatever. So I was going to get her like just one of the ones that kind of wraps around, just like the thin ones, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what I mean. Like the harness I have has like the whole backing part, like
Okay.
a whole. I would have to show it to you. Like it's
Yeah.
just like a serious harness, but
Right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So I mean, if she puts the brakes on, ideally we don't pick her up. And again, normally I'd say just drag her ass through it. Eventually she'll be like, shit. But if she can
But
slip out of
listen, she
it.
got to loose like one other time. Like I had to chase her down the street because she did not want to come in the house. So
Mhm.
she'll lay on the ground. She knows how to lay on the ground where it's difficult to pick her up. So she lay on the ground like a dead body. And then like when you try to pick her up, she'll start squiggling and all that kind of stuff. I know all her tricks now.
Right, right.
She has
Yeah.
them.
So right now, do whatever it takes to make sure that you win that battle of going back in the house.
Okay.
And again, if you got to chop up hot dogs and save that to get back in the house, that's okay, because the repetition of that is going to help her become more reliable. Right.
Okay.
And because it's not just going back into the house, but we're changing the culture of the walk. We're changing the rules, the pace.
Right.
We're doing things on the walk we previously didn't do. The repetition of all this holistically is going to cause her to be more focused on you,
Right.
because there's a reason to be more focused on us. Right. And who cares if a piece of jerky gets us there? Right. Who cares?
Right.
I'm not proud.
Jerky and proud, bacon and proud. Like
Whatever, right? Whatever works. So yeah, so make the walks. Like, remember, we are walking her for her sake, but we got to own the walk.
Got you.
Okay. She can't be zigzagging. She can't be stopping us every 10 steps. If you want to stop her to sniff or whatever, have like a 3 to 5 second rule. After 3 or 5 seconds of sniffing, she got all the information. Let's go, bitch. Come on. Let's go.
Underlay.
You
Yeah, I'll
know?
talk about you.
Because we do want her to experience the world with sniffing and inspecting and all that stuff. But again, right now, she's controlling the walk. She's doing all the stopping. She's leading you in whatever direction she wants to go in. We need to change that because we have work to do on the inside of the house too, to also change the narrative of how she gets things, which, that'll be your homework before we hang up. I'll give you a little bit of homework to do on a daily basis.
Okay.
So, all right. So recap. So jumping, obviously if we have to leash her, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Educate our visitors on.
Sure, until she calms down.
Yep.
Ignore her. Okay.
Yep. And, make sure the visitors know because they're part of the equation too. The destruction, which the couch, obviously we're going to slowly reintroduce the crate. So it's not too stressful on her. Plus you're going to be getting another size crate, which is fine. So you still have your current crate, right?
I do.
Okay.
I can pull that out tonight.
Set it up now because all we're using it for is to feed her with the door open. So it's not a comfort issue.
Okay.
So that would be good to reintroduce it. So,
okay.
All right. And then the walks, again, we're flipping the script on the walks. And then now inside the house with no distractions, you and her and some treats. Does she respond to you pretty well?
Oh yeah, like she listens to me, but when other people are around or if she is like outside and she runs away, like she doesn't come like she should. And historically we've had bulldogs, which they're lazy.
Yeah.
They're just like, feed me, let me fart, and I won't pee in the house. I won't go out in the rain, but like I'm good. So we haven't had like a lively dog since, having like our Rottweilers back, some years ago, or whatever.
Right.
So I think that part of the problem is that, when my mom and I bought a house together, the last dog I had was a bulldog. Sophie is like a boxer pit, Rottweiler, German Shepherd, all up in one. Herding dog.
She's an anti-bulldog.
It's like F a bulldog.
Yeah.
She just has like a ton of energy. And I think that part of the problem is directing her energy.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I need you to do on a daily basis, a couple of things is we need to have at least 3 training sessions with her every day. Okay. And they're going to be quick hits, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. So maybe one before work, one when you get home, maybe one later in the evening. Just simple things in the living room with no distractions, just you and her, a couple of treats. Work on your come command, her sit. Does she lay down on command too?
When I say, what are you doing, Sophie? Sophie, what are you doing? Not on lay. She doesn't lay down on lay. I have to say, what are you doing?
Okay, you could call it banana. It doesn't matter. Whatever the word is for her to lay down, that's your word, right?
Okay.
Does she stay at all?
Oh no.
Okay. All right. So we have come, we have sit, and we have lay down. Whatever your phrase is for lay down. Do a bunch of repetitions in like 30 seconds or a minute, 3 times a day. Okay. And that's just so, again, morning, noon, and night, for instance, not that those are the exact times, but you know what I mean?
Right.
That, periodically throughout the day, we're giving her a quick little, hey, focus on mom.
Okay.
Right. So we're doing that every day for the foreseeable future. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
The other thing, which this is really important, which this is going to make training an all day, everyday part of your life, where you don't have to set time aside. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, am I going to get home in time? Do I have enough time to do this? It's what I call resource control. Some people refer to it as nothing in life is for free. Okay. So what that means is she doesn't get anything unless she does something. Okay. So before you feed her right now, do you make her sit before you feed her?
No, but she is kind of patient. Like she waits until I do everything in the bowl and whatever, and she doesn't eat until like I leave the bowl.
Okay, and
But
is she
not
is she
something I trained her to do.
okay? Is she sitting?
Not sitting. No,
Now
she
she
just
is.
back.
Now she has to sit before you put that food
Okay.
bowl down. Okay,
Okay.
that's resource control. She
Okay.
doesn't get something unless she does something. Okay.
Okay.
Resources, they include but are not limited to food, treats, affection, playtime, if she's allowed up on furniture. These are all resources that we have to control and she has to earn. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So obviously she's allowed in bed with you. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Now she's got to earn that privilege.
Okay.
Okay. If she gets up on her own, get her ass off.
Okay.
Sophie, off. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Okay, come on up. That's it.
Okay.
So for all intents and purposes, we're still spoiling her, but on our terms, not hers. Okay. And that again is part of flipping the script, adding some structure to her life.
Okay, quick question. So normally she'll sleep like she always sleeps at the foot of the bed, like on her side of the bed at the foot. But I notice sometimes that she'll like just want to lay on my side, like on me, like just on my feet or whatever, like just super close, like super uncomfortable. So is that, stop it, Sophie. Is that weird?
No,
Okay, just
it could
making
be
sure.
annoying.
It is definitely annoying.
Yeah, so scooch her ass over.
Look, I put my whole feet, like I am like with the biggest like push I can give her. She don't care. She's like, oh, just put your feet underneath my body. I don't care. I'm
And
just gonna
wait.
still lay here. Literally, she'll be laying on top of my feet. I'm like pushing whatever, and she'll be like, oh, okay. Let me get comfortable again.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
If it's not a huge impact to your life or your sleep habits, it's not that big of a deal. But if
Okay.
it is bothering you, then you have to
Yeah.
win that battle.
Yeah.
So
I'm over that one.
yeah. So I mean, you got a big old bed. Okay, she got plenty of room.
Yeah, I'm like, scooch your ass over. Scooch.
Yep, yep. Yeah, but I mean, not uncommon. Dogs, I've had dogs that they just want to go lay, they want to sleep by themselves. I've had other dogs, I call them lint, where they, even if it's just a paw, like they had to be touching me.
Right. Right. I think that's what it is. It doesn't matter. Like she'll like just, it's like I kind of want to snuggle, but not really.
Yeah, yeah. It's just,
You
are
know
you
what I
still,
mean?
you still there? Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right then. Like
Yeah.
I'm making sure you're still there, then
Right.
I'm okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I will be perfectly honest with you. 20 years ago, I was so much more into cuddling with my dogs. Like now, like I need my 7 hours.
You and me both.
I'm like, yo, guys, I love you, but
Yeah, like skedaddle.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, yeah, it's your rules, whatever your rules are, right? The other thing now, I don't know what she was just doing, but you kind of verbally reprimanded her.
Yeah, she was just licking my toes and everything. And I'm just like, whenever I'm on the phone or doing something, like she wants attention. So I was just like, no, stop, whatever. So she left.
Okay. So you said, Sophie, no.
Okay. All right, maybe not. Maybe I need to have some bass in my voice.
Now, here's the thing is now she responded because she knew what the hell you were talking about, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter. You need to up your game a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Right. And now you don't have to have a deep voice. You don't need to shout, but you do need to find your authoritative tone, okay?
Okay.
Whatever that is. And generally, all you have to do is take the question mark off the end of whatever you're saying.
Okay. Okay.
Sophie, stop. Right? Sophie, stop. Right? I didn't change my volume. I didn't change my tone. I took the question mark off the end. They sound very different, don't they?
Right. Right. You're right. You
So,
got me.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Thank God.
we're all guilty of it, but remember, especially because and when I send you, things to enrich her life and stuff, it's all going to be about a lot of positive reinforcement. She needs to understand the contrast between cut this out and good girl.
Right.
because that's how she's going to learn wrong from right.
And if I'm using the same tone with everything, because I really don't like to yell at her and scream. Like that's just not my thing with anybody,
Right.
dog or human. So
That's
yeah,
what, yeah,
but I
that's
just
why you don't have to yell and scream. You just take the question mark off the end,
okay,
right?
got it.
Like, okay,
Like that with the humans too. Go ahead.
yeah, commands, or either whether you're giving her a command or a verbal correction, for instance,
Mhm.
they should all sound the same.
Right.
Sit down, come, stay, leave it, off, no, drop it, good girl. And
I
your
need to record.
praise, what's that?
I need to record all of those things you just said. I just like use that. But
So,
yes,
but
that is so like thank you for that. Like
yeah, then you got to remember she's going to respond so much better to you because your communications are now clear.
right. Right.
This, you're doing this, but when you do this, this is what happens,
Right.
right? And that contrast of working and then the praise that comes on the other side of that, that's really that's what's going to help hit home with her.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay. Howard already.
Yep.
Like,
And I mean, I'll be honest. I try to be as honest as possible. I tell people all the time. I even tell my students that it's easier for me to train other people's dogs than my own because I'm a lot like they're my babies.
yeah.
Like, and sometimes, if I'm out all day, I'm on a bunch of sessions. Like the last thing I want to do is come home and be all leader like,
Right.
but
Right.
my guys are older now, so it's a little different. But when we first adopt our dogs, they're probably on a strict schedule for about a year,
Uh-huh.
right? And then we'll start kind of giving them a little freedoms and stuff and things along those lines. So right now, Sophie, number one, you got her during COVID, so you were home all the time in all likelihood, right?
Yes. And I had a broke knee.
Right. So, she had a lot of mom time, right?
Completely.
So now things are changing a little bit, but we're going to kind of put her on lockdown again. It's a reset. We're not doing this for the rest of her life, right? But she's approaching 2 years old. Plan on 6 months at least of getting some good structure and back into her life. And it's for you too. All this stuff we're talking about.
I want like my family to be able to come over without her going crazy.
Right.
And I travel a lot, and when I'm not traveling abroad, like I want to be able to take her to Florida or to my dad's in Virginia,
Yeah.
or up to New York or whatever. I can't do that right now. So I and the issue that I have with my mom, like being uncomfortable with her, it's not aggressiveness, it's just like the puppiness and the lack of control and the lack of her listening.
Yeah, I'm telling.
So those things will be huge.
Let me tell you, this is where I want you to increase your volume and change the tone of your voice a little bit. The next time, because you're not going to leash her when your mom comes upstairs, right?
No, like she just lays on the steps, and she is, if you're about to leave, that's when she does that really.
Right.
Oh,
I thought you said she jumps on your mom too.
Oh, she does. She does.
Okay. So the next
too.
Okay, so the next time either one of those things happen, there's a new sheriff in town.
That's right.
And you need to look, and dogs respond to our facial expressions and our posture too. So if you need to whip out off and almost startle her that first time, when she gets off of you, good girl. Again, so unacceptable. Yes.
So I think that I've been using the word down. Like I try to use one word things, but I think that down now is associated with down, but kind of not down. So maybe I need to change the word for getting down to off, like you just said.
Right. You see, I use off because I use down for a dog to lay down.
Right.
So I don't want to have
that
one.
Could be confusing for her.
Yeah. So that's why I use off. So
so that's our new word, off.
Yep. And now remember, keep this in mind. Jumping is it's a physically escalating behavior.
Okay.
Okay. I perceive jumping, mouthing, and humping very similarly in that they're very invasive and they just should not be tolerated.
Okay.
Okay. And the energy, and you know, you don't have to shout, but that energy that comes out of you, I mean, even if you have to force your shoulders back and erect your posture off and
Right.
use that, I mean, look at her. And then when she gets off, good girl. Not a
Gotcha.
super excited reward, because she sounds like a typical pit mix where if you reward her too enthusiastically, she's all bouncy,
Right.
right? So everything's got to be calm.
Psycho. Right.
Yeah, yeah. But again, our verbal corrections should certainly sound like we mean business.
Okay.
And when she responds, we should validate that good behavior with a good girl.
Okay. But no
Okay?
treats and nothing like that for something like that.
Well, it's not practical because you're not always going to have treats on you, right?
Right. Okay.
So yeah, our treat work, she's going to get plenty of treats, but we're also, you know, now we're bringing treats on walks. She's going to be earning everything that she gets, right? So like if you normally take her for a walk, come back inside and give her a treat. I don't know if you do that.
No, but every time so when she was young and when she used the bathroom outside as opposed to the inside, we would give her a treat. So now when she comes in the house from the backyard, she expects a treat. So maybe we need to stop giving her a treat every time she comes in from the backyard, because that's like 5 times a day, like a small treat.
Yeah,
just for
so
coming in.
you can still give her the treat, but how does that change now?
So what do you mean? How does that change?
We could still give her that treat, but what has to
she
happen?
sit down.
She's gotta work. Yep.
Right. She has to earn it.
That's
which
right.
She does. I always make her sit down for the treat. Well, my mom maybe not so much, but I have to remind her about that.
Yep.
That she has to sit down for the treat. But I'm thinking maybe she gets too many treats. So the treats are not meaning as much because she's getting them every time she comes in, you know, from out back or whatever. So I think that, and I could be wrong about this, that the treats need to mean more.
Or she needs to work harder for them.
Right. Okay. So that's a better way to put it.
Either way, right?
So just coming in the house is not like a reason to get a treat. Well, I mean, from the backyard.
Because she has recall issues, I would say keep giving her the treat.
Okay.
Just make her work for it, because then she's more like, all right, look, she comes right in the house from the backyard, right? Mm-hmm. But she doesn't from the front yard if she gets loose.
Oh, no.
Right. Two separate environments.
No, like I can't call her and say, come, Sophie, and she just comes.
Right.
I mean, she'll be like, let me sniff around a little bit and then I'm gonna come.
Right. See, all the things that we're doing and the repetition of all these things is going to make listening to you better than anything else. That's really what we're trying to accomplish here.
Okay.
Right. And you know, I mean, if she catches a scent on the front lawn and she doesn't come right away, obviously, you know, not that you're going to have her off leash purposely, but God forbid that happens, you know, maybe you have a treat jar or something, and you could, or maybe she responds to a crinkled treat bag or something. You know, in those one-off situations where we're like, oh shit, she got loose, right? God forbid it doesn't happen again, but if it does, we need some kind of ace in the hole to get her attention. So, you know, keep doing the backyard thing, because the repetition of that, and now she's got to work for it. So it's not, because now it's like she's coming in and is like, yo, you over here, I need my treat.
It's exactly how she does it.
Right. So now when she does that, get the treat, walk away from her. Get her into another area of the house, or even if it's 10 steps away from the treat cabinet, come, good girl, sit, good girl, then give her the treat. Okay. So she had to come to you. And if you notice, I said come, and I verbally praised her. Then she has to sit and then verbally praise, and then the treat, right? Because we want her to work for verbal praise too, not just treats. But for right now, nothing wrong with that, you know, coming in from outside. Now she's just working for it, and she's got to work for it on our terms. Okay. Okay.
Ooh, I got a lot of homework.
And, you know, honestly, you're going to do most of this. That's why resource control is so effective, because we're not setting time aside.
Right.
We're doing the things that we've been doing. We're just making her work for it.
Right. Right. And like, it makes sense by you saying it. It like makes perfect sense. And I will do whatever to like make sure that she gets to that place. So
Yeah.
no, it might take like 2, 3, 6 months or whatever. Like I'm thinking 6 months, we should see some change. And I just want to have these small victories so that my mom will be more, um, okay with her being here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, where we don't have to worry about, the most important thing is the laying on the steps, and like basically it all boils down to listening,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, to listening
Yeah.
and not jumping on people.
Hmm.
Period. Jumping on us,
Right.
guests, and so forth. I think that would be a huge step.
Yeah.
So I'm going to follow like everything to the T
Okay.
to make sure that that happens.
Yeah.
So thank you for sending me videos too,
Yeah.
because I
Yes,
need reinforcement too.
that's right. That good girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, obviously you have my cell phone. So if you have a question or whatever, you can shoot me a text. If you want to have a chat, you could always call me. If you're having any challenges with like working with through certain things, and you're always welcome to like get some video and send me video, and then I can kind of analyze it and offer some suggestions on that as
Awesome.
well.
Oh my
So
God. I so appreciate
yeah,
that. Like
no,
for
yeah,
sure.
sure. Yeah, and then I mean, if it's the only thing about video, sometimes when you send video through the cell phone, it comes through real choppy.
Hmm.
So I mean, you could send me video. I'm on Facebook. You could send it to my email through like Google Drive or something.